Bryce. Welcome.
Hey Priya, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining in, and I really appreciate your contribution and support you are doing as a speaker to Corporality Summit.
Thank you. And look, it is for a good cause and a great community, so I am honored and excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. And I heard your TED Talk. People who haven't watched must watch. I'm gonna put the description in my details. So must watch. I
Sure.
was really flamed by that. So I'm assuming everybody is gonna energize with that, and that's what our topic is all about. So we're gonna discuss before we discuss your topic and other details.
Sure.
What made you think about becoming an entrepreneur? You are in a health industry and you are in a health industry. So what made you to think it become an entrepreneur aspect?
Well, I think I think it wasn't me that chose entrepreneurism. I think it was the other way around. Being an entrepreneur chooses you. I look back on some of my experiences through my life, and even from a very early age, instead of going to school sport, I somehow managed to teach the sport and get paid for it. So I was getting paid to go to school and teach the sport around something that I love doing anyway. And so, when you're kind of in that mindset, and look, both my parents, they run their own businesses. And so I think that
Right.
natural upbringing was
Sure.
to, find out what you're really passionate about and then figure out how to
Mm-hmm.
package that up and bring that to the world. And
True.
so, yeah, I think it was a case of it chose me rather than I chose it.
Right. And that's amazing, isn't it? Because you feel like it's just going so naturally flowing in you and you were actually meant to be doing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially now with the journey that I've been on over time about, having my own health challenges when I was younger, figuring out how to overcome those health challenges without the use of, drugs and surgery and I suppose the mainstream stuff that we get told. That is, very, very much like this is the only way. So, finding these things out and going through a journey on my own, and then finding the right network and support of people to be able to help me and that I can
Right.
utilize, that is really the key towards being able to then give this message that I have to the community of people that really want to listen. And so that's why. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, personal things actually makes a lot of difference because you just bring a purpose and the passion both together in that sense.
Yeah.
So what do you think about branding?
Look, I think branding is extremely important because you are representing your brand, and your brand is representing you. And
Hmm.
I think if you are not living congruently with your highest values and the true you, then it will show up in your branding, and then there's a level of inauthenticity that people will actually start to see over a period of time. So
Right.
I think, yeah, for me, the key is to be authentic,
Hmm.
to do things with integrity in terms of who you are and why you do what you do,
Right.
and that brand will start to grow and develop because of those things. Yeah.
Right. And what channel most fascinate you, given like these days people are very fascinated about, going towards more Zoom and webinar and all, it's become very common and there was a reason for it. But now the whole in-person events are coming up, and what do you think about like going to these kind of an event and actually finding the reason to go that? What caused you to go there?
Yeah. So look, I definitely do. I definitely do love the face-to-face events far better than Zoom. In fact, I'd rather be having a cup of coffee with you right now, Priya, than sitting in front of a Zoom screen. But it is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
so look, the thing with live events is that you have a sensory system in your body that is
Hmm.
picking up so many different signals of smell, sight, taste, touch, temperature. Even like it or not, pheromones of people and other things are all happening at these bombardments per millisecond, and
Right.
all that gets registered through your nervous system and then gets put into, parts of your brain that then can determine emotions and feelings and responses around those things.
Right.
Something you do not get from a Zoom call. And
Hmm.
so when you have a sensory type of experience that is, again, brings an emotional response, guess what you do? You remember it. and
Right.
then if you remember it and it's aligned with your values, then all of a sudden you start taking action on those things. So I find that, the Zoom conferences, they can be great to get information through, but I would be, I would say it would be very, what's the word I'm looking for? I would say I actually probably bet the house on it that you're going to take more action around the things that you learn at a face-to-face meeting or event than you would through a Zoom. That's just my
Right.
no
Yeah.
research
I mean,
data to back it up, but it makes sense in my head.
right. Yeah. Because I mean, I believe that I go to the in person when I shake hand and I meet. I'm actually looking at entire your body language and your communication. There's so many medium of communication. It builds better trust, and you do. And as you said, you do remember because of all those scientific health body science reason.
Physiology, that's right. Yeah.
Geology.
Yeah.
So definitely it's gonna make a lot of difference, when you see that. And that's why, I mean, people are willing to go. Why do you go to, different tourism places? Why do you go to the different, 5-star? All those sensory experience actually triggers you to, go and experience that aspect of it. So I think in-person event is gonna be like really very interesting. And I know this is your first time with us, but I'm really looking forward for your speaking because I have heard your TEDx multiple times, and that's how we connected. So I was wondering what would you like to say to the audience before we close today?
Look, I would like to say that I think you're in with a treat with all the speakers that you have on board, because they all bring a level of expertise and passion, I suppose, to the table. Within different realms and industries and ideas, but it all comes along that same message, which is really growth and also sustainability of business, and really that's kind of what we're about as a group, right? Like we're trying to all get a message out there, something that we truly believe in, and we want to build that message to be able to help as many people as we possibly can.
Right.
Which, and we're all on the same page. So I think, I think we're all going to be in for a really great 3 days. And I'm really excited for what's to come.
Right. So you would like to invite to the Corporality Summit. What do you see in it?
What do I see? Well, I think I just explained it. I mean, that's really what we're really talking about. That obviously that community, the connection, but also, getting together a group of really like-minded people with very similar goals and purposes to be able to see things and open up, maybe open up experiences that they haven't, or ideas that they haven't necessarily thought about, that's going to help them to grow. That's what I love. Because look, for me, as you know, like I'm all about trying to empower people with the right tools and information so that they can make the right decisions to help themselves. I don't want people to become dependent on me. I want people to become dependent on themselves and have that message across. And I think, with the summit, this is kind of the message that I'm getting across, empowering people to be better leaders.
Right. And there's so many things aligned, and we are looking forward for your networking and collaboration and your time values to us. So we will promise we will value it equally. So must join us. Thank you so much for today's
Thank you so much for your time today as well. I really appreciate the talk.